is, again, how has Garscom contributed to the fulfillment of those objectives? We have been involved. Our involvement has been in 3 phases. Phase 1, we began. I just want to really thank Nettie. She came up with the idea of urban farming. She's actually the pioneer of urban farming. Nettie got a group together to really start the urban farming. She is still involved. She cannot run away. So she's still there, I can assure you. So that started about 3 years ago. We also have a committee of about 4. Ati is our chairperson here. And then we have about 2 residents, Maureen and Rika, and myself. So that is a committee that sits to just deliberate or to continue pushing this project forward. Phase 1, we began. We started a garden, a vegetable garden in Blue Copper. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. It is in the enclosed area in Swatba, yeah, somewhere there. It is a cul-de-sac. I can't tell you the size, maybe over 4 square meters. That area belongs to the municipality. That area, before we started, was really in a bad place. It was overgrown. It's a no man's land, so the residents were not taking care of it. It doesn't belong to anybody. There was no initiative of the residents to do anything about it. It was always overgrown, especially in the rain season. Another thing was that our informal waste pickers took advantage of that place, and sometimes they would leave whatever thing they didn't need to take with them. So it became kind of a littering place. So that was not really good. It was an eyesore. So we spoke to the municipality about it, and they said, look, we don't have the capacity for sure to clean it up. So it's good that you get involved as community members. So they gave a go-ahead that we can grow vegetables there. And so we've been growing a lot of spinach, some tomatoes, different things. Phase 2, there was need to expand. And then phase 3, this is where we are. I'll just explain a little bit on the phases that we've had. Yeah, that's Blue Copper. That's how it started there. It looks far much better now. If you haven't been there, you're really missing out. I know people say pictures say what? 1,000 whatever words, but I believe in seeing physically and really touching the soil and just be there. So that is our vegetable patch there. It's quite a big place. It's not just that, it actually goes, you know what a cul-de-sac, that's what we are talking about. And that's a lot. You can grow a lot there. What's important about this vegetable production is really the involvement of the community. Again, I'll say a little bit more about that, what has happened, but it's key to success. Even with the municipality, the first thing they said, it's okay if the residents agree. So when we talk of Garscom, it's not just Nettie, she just gave the idea. It's everyone who is interested in being involved in that project that we have. Phase 2 was about expansion. I'll tell you the successes we've had as we go along. Phase 2 was expansion. After what we saw in blue copper, it was good. So we decided to expand to another area, and that was rainbow trout. We spoke to the residents there who did not want vegetable production for various reasons. One, nobody has a borehole to really give water, because water is quite important. So there's no one who has a borehole there. And by the way, in blue copper, again, I just want to really thank one of the residents who has provided irrigation from a borehole. So that is what has happened there. But here, nobody has that resource. So the idea was, look, let's just have the fruit trees. The fruit trees also need irrigation, depending on what stage you start, but it can easily feed from the rain. So that was the idea. Again, we went to municipality. They said it's fine. You can go ahead and plant the trees. They were very specific about the kind of fruit trees we should plant there. They are more into citrus. I don't know why. But of course, we also have our own way. We have managed to push in some fruit trees like mango and fig and what else, and peaches. I'm sure they're not coming to cut them down. Like I said, I don't know why. They did not explain why they didn't want us to put any other trees. Maybe they think they will be too, I don't know. But I believe we can eat. The idea is to plant what we can eat. So that is what is happening there. And at the moment, I think we started in November. We planted in December when the rain was adequate. So some fruit trees already have fruits on them. If you visit there, you might be lucky and pick something to eat. And then we are also cleaning the area. My thanks to one of the residents who has donated cleaning up of the area, so it's occasionally cleaned. If you visit, it's really beautiful now with those fruit trees. Then we also have a possibility of growing some vegetables during the rain season. We can also grow some mealies. That's the plan. Yeah, so what has happened with this project so far? I'm going to say successes or our contribution to the objectives that I outlined earlier on. So far, a business opportunity was created for one person. It was business stroke job because we're just starting. One person, he was not a member of this community, but as we know, we also reach out to our surrounding communities. A job was created, a business opportunity was created. More importantly, this person was trained in urban farming. So he was given that training, the skill to really be involved in urban farming. Another important one, we managed to get a donation thanks to that person who donated, and believe it or not, he's not even a resident of Garscom. That's how blessed we are. A very generous donation to start us up to today. Another thing, or another success from that garden has been obviously food production. Vegetables have come out there. Somehow, in a way, we have contributed to food security, not just within Garscom. Vegetables have been taken to the patients at our local clinic, Pretoria's clinic. From time to time, we collected the vegetables and delivered to the patients, not to the nurses. They're also welcome anyway, but the focus was on the patients there. You know, it's a needy group, and so we have done that. And also within our community, we've given out here and there to those who are not able to buy. There has been minimal income generation. I'm emphasizing minimal. First of all, it was really experimental, but even with that, the income generation was part of the experiment. So we've been able to generate some income from the vegetables. Also, we have contributed to the environment. Like I said, beautifying the area is much, much better than it was. We have also managed to keep off the informal waste pickers because it's now clean. They're not throwing things there. Challenges. Yeah, we've had some challenges in terms of our urban farming project. The one major challenge has been that there's been lack of interest in the business idea from the person who was trained, and unfortunately is no longer with us. That has been really a big challenge. In our view as a committee, we could have done far much better than what has been done. But look, you can't force a person. We did what we could. Another challenge has been lack of involvement. First and foremost, by the street residents. Out of the entire street, and particularly that area, only one person is involved. And also the community as a whole. Like I said, that garden is not just for Blue Copper. It belongs to Garscom community. There has been really lack of interest, obviously apart from supporting us in buying the vegetables, but you know, we have been advertising, and I'll talk to you about the kind of ideas we've had to involve the community. And then thirdly, there has been dependency on outside financial donation. Once this money, we are almost there. We don't have any promises of more money. But let me also emphasize, the idea of this gardening is not to be dependent on people bringing in money. Is to turn it into a profitable business, to generate its own income. That is first and foremost what it is all about. Whoever is there, it's a business opportunity to generate their own income out of that garden and be able to feed the community in any way possible. So I don't want to emphasize the dependence, but I'm just mentioning it. Right. This is basically what has been happening. With the challenges that I've outlined, we are here. And we really need the intervention, the involvement of the community. We need new ideas. We need a new business plan that can really take us far, that can involve as many people as possible. And by the way, another important thing, why we really also had that project is to give an opportunity for the residents to get education on vegetable production. It's not a given. Not everybody is knowledgeable in terms of vegetable production. We opened it up to the community, come and learn, and I'll just mention 2 ways in which we have really been doing that. Okay, this is what we are doing currently, and this is what I would want us to build on as a community going forward, even more than that. Income generation, yes, we've been generating the income, very minimal. Every Friday, not every Friday maybe, any Friday that we had a lot of vegetables, we were selling. I'm sure some of you saw Opa seated outside the control room selling vegetables. We need support. That is something we will continue. Those vegetables were coming from the garden. So Fridays, vegetable selling. If not Friday, whenever we had our night markets and vegetables were available, we also sell there in our Garscom tent. Please support that. Another practice has been appealing to the community residents to rent a bed from there, from our garden. Rent a bed, get a bed, and grow your own vegetables. See? Blank one, you grow whatever you want, but give us something in return. That is a way of generating income. We can agree on a fee. It's not cast in stone. So that is one way. Just come there. If you are not able to grow vegetables in your own garden, maybe you don't have space. We have a lot of space there. Come and say, look, I want this bed. I'll grow whatever I want. Another way is you can rent a bed and let that farmer grow the vegetables you want for you. He manages or she manages that bed, again, pay a fee. That is another way of getting the communities involved. If you're really not interested in farming or growing anything, there will be somebody to do that at a fee. We can have a minimum, but you can increase a little bit. Then, in terms of job creation, apart from the trained farmer just working at that garden, you can also pay him to grow vegetables within your yard. We have plenty of space. We have water. Again, I keep emphasizing that we are really wasting on, no, I don't want to be in trouble with anybody. Okay, so that is the idea. Farmer to also work at private residence. This is what we are working with, but we want ideas from you. So that page there, phase 3, community ideas, new business plan. You have to feel that is blank for a purpose. So we need ideas. If you have an idea tonight, you can send it over those that are online, but no need to stress. We have other things to attend to. You can talk to me, you can talk to Ati, you can talk to Rika, you can talk to Maureen, and you can also send ideas to inquiries. Will be most welcome. We can also have a meeting. Normally we do that when we go to a street. We have a meeting with the residents and then we discuss. We are also looking for open space. If you have an idea of where maybe we haven't seen that, you can let us know. If it belongs to the municipality, we will be able to talk to the municipality about it. They have been very good. Look, they're really open about that. So that's all. If you have any questions, you can ask. Not ideas, but questions, just to clarify on what we are doing. Yes.
What sort of pest control for the fruit trees and the vegetables are used?
Oh, we haven't gone into that yet. We just planted in December. But it's important to have those ideas.
Okay.
If you have any, please, you're welcome to give us. Any questions? But okay, or maybe, sorry, Carol. Another emphasis is that we are really going organic. We are emphasizing on organic production of vegetables. So we are not using chemicals. We use compost for our fertilizing of the soil. We use other organic conventional methods of whatever it is. I don't want to come and learn. So that's what we are doing. No chemicals. I hope we'll do the same for the, I shouldn't say I hope, we will do the same for the fruits.
Yes,
Yes.
I also just want to say that we plant, you will see a lot of lekker stink Afrikaner is in between the veggies. And that is common practice to plant that. But there's another plant that what is it? Comfrey.
Yeah.
Comfrey is the plant's name. And we grow the plant and then you pick the leaves and you can cook them and then you put it in a bottle or just put it in water and it actually is a deterrent for insects. So there's a lot of methods in this urban farming idea to use against insects and so.
Yeah. All right.
Any other questions for Phoebe? Good, but we really wait for your input, wat wil jy iets sê?
No, I think
Phoebe.
you said everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I also just want to say Phoebe really put hours in that garden. So it looks wonderful now because of her interventions and her a lot of hours working there in that garden. Thank you very much, Phoebe.
And knowledge.
And knowledge, that's very important. We have got the knowledge of the urban farming, or we had it. I don't know if we are going to retrieve it again somewhere, but we know something about urban farming. But if there's other people that knows more about it, please come and help us, and we can learn from each other on that. All right, thank you very much. And then very quickly, I'm going through the model again for those who are new, those who are online and haven't heard about our model. So, ja, dankie. How it all began, 1998, I think Slang wasn't here yet. Slang was at the police in that time. He was a police officer and he patrolled our streets. Today he's a member of ADT. But we started in 2-3 streets. It was Retief, Lucas, those people was people that helped us to start what we thought, how are we going to do this? How are we going to combat crime? How are we going to stop this absolute influx of crime?
Wild West.
Yeah, it was a wild west. So at that time, we went to all the security companies that had one board on a fence, and we said we would like proactive patrols. We would like a proactive approach on security. And at that stage, 2003, Chap and Mapoch was the only people that say, all right, we'll give you your patrol car. So they said 250 people for one car. When we had 500 people, we got our second car in 2007. And we asked for the same people on the car so that we get to know the reaction officers or the patrol officers, and they get to know our community. On this stage, they know our community so well that even if a dog is loose in the street, they will be able to tell you where that dog belongs to. So my grandchild walked away today from my house. Can you believe it? He's 4 years old. And he walked into Bluton Street. And so somebody, fortunately, we noticed it very quickly, but it could have been a terrible problem. But so the reaction officers, they get to know our place. They are not reaction, they are patrolling our streets. So we started with the second car in 2007, and in 2011, when we had more than 700-800 clients for CHUP, they said, would you like 3 cars? We said, no, wait a minute, help us to start our control room. And that is how we started our own control room. We are not monitoring alarms there. We are like a 911. You call the control room and they will help you. They will come send somebody out to go and have a look for a suspicious person or a car. And that is the security that we've got. I don't want to spend more time. Anthony's going to tell you more about that. And then we said the big problem is to keep this security sustainable. And that we are doing with our projects, which urban farming is one of our projects. Night run, take the coldest night in the year. And our patrollers that is here, they will know because they are the marshals and that it's very cold out there. But we all do it and it's fun and it's wonderful. We get to know each other. We start to get involved, and that is what helps them. All right. So just a comparison on what any other a security company. And I'm not against the companies. What I say, we work with all the companies. On a Monday morning, we meet with all the other companies and we discuss the crime. But inside of Garscom, we've got a preferred security company, and that is ADT now. When CHUP had to sell, they sold to National Security, and National Security did not do the thing, and we went to ADT, which helps us a lot. So if you see patrol cars 24/7, reactive service, they haven't got it. Boomed off, they might have, but it's not a regular thing. We've got 2. Security cameras, reaction service won't give you security cameras. Boomed off area will only have it at the entrances, and we've got 27 cameras at this stage. Fencing around, reaction won't have that. Boomed off, they will fence off when they get enough money from the residents. So that's also one thing that they do it, but it takes a long time. We haven't got that. That is our big problem now. A boom with a guard, reaction service won't give you that. Boomed off will give you that. We haven't got that. We don't need it, because if we want a boom, if we are going to close the area with a boom, I asked the person who do this, but what are you going to do about our traffic? Because you will never get approval at the traffic department because of our high volumes of cars going in and out. He said it's not a problem. They do give us permission, but with certain conditions. One of the conditions is the boom must stay open in the daytime. So that is a boomed off area. Control room, reaction won't give it to you, boomed off won't give it to you. We've got our own control room. It really works like a 911. I wish the people will understand our control room. We get more calls from other companies, people that belong to other companies than our ADT clients, because they cannot phone their own company. Their own company is a reactive service. Nothing against reactive service. If you want a reactive service alone, you can choose one. There's a lot of them. In the east of Pretoria, there are more than 20 of them. But a proactive patrol, it is really a problem. So the cost per month, we can discuss that, but we can also negotiate with our company, because the more clients we've got, we can ask them to help us to get the monthly payment down. So there's a prediction there for the payment, but that's not exactly what it is. Additional organizations like a reaction service, they are just giving you a reaction when your alarm goes off. There's no other additional service. At the boomed off area, you pay 800 plus per month just for the booming off. And in Garscom, we ask you 120. And we really give more than a boomed off area. So the percentage contributing at this stage is more or less 15%. We are working on that. I really need somebody to help with marketing, because the marketing is the thing that helps us to get the message out there. I met somebody the other day. He buys pannenkoek and melkkos every month at the market. And one day he came there and it was finished, and he ordered something, and when he told him, come to my house tomorrow, and when he went out, he said, but what's going on next door here at your house? And she said, no, this is the control room. So he's staying here for 3 years. He doesn't even know what Garscom is. It's not his fault. It's, please help me. It's our fault. Good. Thank you for that. I'm just going to skip that. Anthony's going to have more of that. If you move in, this is the place you stay. You must keep your place safe. You must help with your children. When we moved in here with 5 children, I told Ati, there's no way my children's going to have anything to do with crime. And we started running in the streets that night. You know, I had the hockey stick and so on. But we managed to get the security up to where it is now. Let's do something to keep it there. So there's a few areas where you can volunteer to get involved. Security, we've got green light patrols. We need know-how about cameras and what else. Events, there's a lot of events that we can introduce you to, and that you can say, well, let me help at the event. I can do a small thing. I've only got one Friday for 1 hour every month, but I can help in that one. And then I can say, let's go through the list. Communication, there's a lot that we need in communication. If you are specialist on anything in communication, anything on social media, please come and help us. And then the cleaning and the infrastructure, the urban farming, there's a lot in the environment that you can get. So we can just skip that. I already talked about this, and the cleaning, and then our security. That is a big reason why we started, and the reason why we did anything else but security is because we want to keep the security sustainable. So please, let's listen what is going on today. Okay, Anthony.
I'll go back to the previous one. Okay, I see my first slide's not there. Okay, the crime feedback I'm giving today is from the 1st of this month to the 22nd, which was on Sunday. The picture looks pretty good compared to the previous month that we were here. If you go and have a look at the crimes that we've experienced in February, we had residential burglaries, we had a common robbery with a weapon other than a firearm, and then trespassing and fence jumpers, which is an unlawful intrusion with intent either to break in or commit a crime. And those are the crimes that we've experienced, or the incidents that we've experienced in this period. Tendencies, if you go to the next slide, we'll show you what our tendencies were for this month. If you compare to last month, you'll see it's a lot better. Burglaries in Garscom, we had 5 in total this month. Where last month we had 7, and then robbery with a weapon other than a firearm, we've had 1. So we've had the 6 in total. So the figures this month actually look very good. Okay, if you look at the graph there, you can see we've only got 2 yellow little buildings over there this month. The purple one again is the total crime for the whole precinct, which is Sector 1 to Sector 4. And then you're looking at the Sector 3, which is Garsfontein area in which Garscom falls. And then the yellow one, we actually represent 50% of that red one this month. The rest of the sector has come down as well. So it's not too bad. And then the vehicle theft also still remains a problem. I've been looking at the stats, and I actually pulled the stats back for a whole year and in the Garsfontein precinct. And every week there's approximately 6 to 8 either vehicle thefts or vehicle thefts and attempted vehicle thefts. So to me, it just gives me an indication that it's a particular syndicate that's working towards a number. When they got their 8, then it seems like they disappear and they wait for the next week. So every week so far, you're looking averaging between 6 and 8 over the year in the Garsfontein precinct of vehicles. I didn't actually, unfortunately, I didn't give you calculate the total of vehicles that have been taken this whole year so far. But the vehicle theft still remains a problem, and as well as the residential burglaries. Okay, the positive arrests that I discussed last month, that we were also happy about, the guys that were hitting the Tiervis and Steekbart streets. It was a combined effort to get these guys eventually caught. These guys were released on bail about 2-3 weeks ago. Okay, they were released on the Monday afternoon. They hit a house in Constantia Park, which was their MO, their modus operandi that they were following, but they didn't come here. Because I think the reason why they didn't come here is because that whole intelligence-driven exercise that we did led to their arrest. So we're monitoring them. We're keeping an eye out for these guys. The positive from that was that the cases that were linked to Garscom, those cases are going to stick. The other areas, we were told that there's a lack of evidence, and that's why the guys were granted bail. The station commander was fighting quite hard to keep these guys from getting bail. And proof is there, they were out. There they hit Constantia again, but we'll keep an eye out for them. But a number of positive arrests were also made by SAPS over the month, including arrests that were linked to burglaries and motor vehicle thefts. And that's why we see the crime has come down. So hopefully everything that we're busy with right across the CPF, all the initiatives like Garscom, is going to keep these figures down. Okay, fence jumpers. Okay, we've been having a problem with fence jumpers. Okay, the nice little face that you see there is actually a guy that's been in our area. Okay, we've got a problem with people coming across. Now, if you look at our borders, if you patrol the whole area, if you go down the Tiervis Street, you're bordering on Atterbury. You go down Blutwand, you're bordering on Atterbury. All the way down Windwand Street, you're bordering on Atterbury. Down Patryswand, you've got the border, which is a Spruit. Solomon Mashlangu. Now, if a guy jumps over from the boundaries this side, we as patrollers are not going to see that guy coming in because he's got the house and the property that's preventing us from seeing him. And this is one of the problems that we've got is the guys coming over from the back. The guys that we've had here recently are all on foot. We haven't been able to identify any vehicles. What can we do or what's contributing to this? Okay, if you look at the next slide there, we're looking at overgrown boundaries and backyards. Unfortunately, there's a severe lack of cooperation from COT to get involved and cut the stuff. If you look in the record, you see the communities are fed up. They're up to here with the lack of cooperation from COT. And a lot of community members in the areas are now jumping in and starting to clean their borders and clean the properties behind them to prevent this kind of thing. Also, residents that live on boundary areas, they're not cleaning their boundaries. Okay, a lot of these people have got gardeners. If you look at Blutwand Street, the back of Blutwand and Tiervis, if you go down Atterbury, you'll see there's certain places that have been cleaned. Okay, those people have got their gardeners that are spending an hour cutting the bushes and the brush there. Okay, so if you've got a gardener, that can help. Another contributing factor is the streetlights. Okay, also again, lack of cooperation from City of Tshwane. Okay, we're getting absolutely no joy of streetlights being fixed. I don't know if the patrollers have noticed, but well done, CIT. We've got one LED streetlight in this area, and that's in Florian Street, sort of halfway down. 1. Okay, so we're not getting cooperation from them regarding streetlights. And I've noticed what a couple of people are doing is what I've done. When we had that massive power outage with the power station, I put a pole up with a solar light, but I turned it into my property. Turned it up like this, but it lights up the whole place. There's 3 in our street that have now done that. And that is an alternative for people to do. And you do it at the back on the boundary as well. Get the lighting up there. Insufficient boundary security. People don't have electric fences or the correct razor wire. I was speaking to Rudolf Zinn a little while ago, and I asked him, what is the most effective razor wire to use? He said, not the coil. He says, you use the straight one. Because the minute you get onto that thing, it collapses and it cuts you. Whereas the coil one, they cut it and they pull it away. So insufficient boundary security. Also, people who live on boundaries should put in early warning systems, like beams on the outside that will warn you that somebody's come into the property. And you can catch these guys or scare them off before they actually get into your property. And then, like I mentioned, also insufficient lighting in the backyards. I don't know why my slide hasn't come out there, but okay, here we go. If you have a look at this, this is a property, and we have a nice TV on the wall there. Okay, it wasn't for sale. It was actually the guy decided to take it, and you can see he pulled the razor wire out. And when they got across there, because the security was alerted, ADT was there very quickly. These guys got cut quite badly on the razor wire over there. But if you have a look at the bushes over here, here's a guy standing here. Now you can see how tall those bushes are. Okay, you drive past the guys drive to do patrols in Atterbury. You're not going to see what's going on behind there. Now, if you have a look on that side of the fence, have a look at that yard, what it looks like on the inside. But there's no way you as a resident are going to see that the guys come over into your property. Okay, so we need people to actually get together. Maybe we must organize a community day where we actually go and we start cleaning up our boundaries, because nobody else is going to do it. And then we're going to prevent these kind of things. But yeah, they had a lot of time, but also the yard in the back, people need to keep the yards open at the back so you can see if something's come into the back. I mean, we had an incident at Retief's house. Now, Retief's area is pretty well covered with cameras, and we picked it up immediately. And I mean, we chased that guy for virtually the whole of Saturday, and we couldn't catch him. He was jumping everywhere. The only properties we couldn't get into were properties where people weren't there, so we couldn't get permission to go in. But he hasn't come back, and I think he got quite a fright. And but Retief had the necessary security to prevent that. Okay, so yes, it does cost a bit of money, but I'm sure if you speak to a security company, they'll be willing to help you and give you some ideas, do a risk assessment, and have a look there. Okay, one way of keeping safe area to live in is by becoming a volunteer, join up with a residents association, grow this involved community. We're standing at 17% or 15%. But if we get one person from 2,700 households just to join up with patrols or get involved, we're already probably halfway there. And then again, we speak about the control room that Carol mentioned, that it works very similar to the 911. Let's get the next one there, please. That is always your first line of contact. Okay, a lot of people put on WhatsApp groups after 9 o'clock at night. People put their phones on silent. Then they complain nobody did anything about it. And we were asking, but did you report it? Yes, I did. So then who did you report it? No, I put it on my street group.
Yeah.
Okay, or Facebook. Okay, Facebook police are going to come out. Never seen the Facebook police, and also never seen a WhatsApp police. Okay, so that is your first point of call. You're going to get immediate response. The guys are going to respond very quickly. They're going to react very quickly, and they are going to prevent something from happening or something severe from happening. And that's why we've got this proactive model. Whereas a reactive model, the guys are going to get there after something has happened. Okay, so that is the first point of call. And people want to know any more information about how to join the patrols, then the inquiries at Garscom. Okay, and then also this is the CPF. That's what we do. we've got on Wednesday, on the 25th at 6:30, at the neighbourhood, we're having what we call an Imbiso. What we're going to cover there is a lot of things that, subjects that are actually not annoying to us, but people telling us we're not doing our jobs, or the security companies aren't doing their jobs. So what we're going to cover there is pretty much what we covered when we had Brandon here a little while ago. So what security companies can do, what the role of SAPs within the community, the role of the Metro TMPD, private security mandates and roles, what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do, and also the CPF, the Community Police Forum, purpose and role within the community, what we do within the community, and then also community expectations, what the community expects from us. We can tell them exactly what we can do and what we can't do, and then also how they can contribute to this initiative. This is a very important one for people to attend. It's open to all community members in every area within the Garscom Police Precinct. And the reason why we're covering that is because security companies are getting hammered about, but why didn't you chase the guy away? Why didn't you pull the guy off that we suspect is dealing drugs? Or the guy that looks suspicious. Now, what is suspicious? Why didn't you? He was walking up the street looking at my property. You can't chase him out. So we're going to cover all that just to get a bit of clarity through to the community on what we, as a Garscom initiative and all the other initiatives that fall under the Community Police Forum do. So it's important. I'd like to see some people from our community being there as well. So hopefully it's going to be about an hour. Okay, thank you. Is there any questions? Andre?
Question on the vehicle thefts. I mean, normally it's Toyotas and Hiluxes or whatever. I heard an interesting comment today that I'd like to bounce off you that you can check next time, where the guys say that there's some group hitting Chinese vehicles. And the reason they're doing it is because those parts are not readily available. So there's oaks that have cottoned onto that. It'll be interesting to see the stats, if that's reality or if it's not.
Yeah, I think the vehicle thefts are mainly the Toyotas.
Yeah,
but there have been a couple of Yohavals that have been taken. I actually sent an interesting article that I read. I just put on our police group regarding vehicle theft syndicates, Australia. I don't know if you guys have read it. Australia's got a massive problem with thefts of Toyotas.
Yeah.
And now Toyota's trying to do something to curb the theft there. Okay, so hopefully they'll do something to curb the theft there, because I think we are the market leaders in the world when it comes to the theft of Toyotas.
Yeah.
But Chinese vehicles, I don't know what you'll get for the parts. But
the bottom line is, when you're in an accident, you can't get replacement parts. So there is a hang of a market for the oaks that want to steal them.
Yeah, so stick to your Toyota.
Hi, Dr. Anthony. Thank you very much. So let's just check on that Chinese vehicles. Perhaps we will get something interesting there. So I just thought of something that I left out to say. Our model then of our proactive model of patrolling and have a partnership with one company whom we work with and whom we gather with every month. So that is so important and that is so successful. You can see it on our stats. We are the most successful non-boomed off area in Pretoria. And even lately I heard there are such a lot of break-ins and other problems in estates and even boomed off areas. So we also had a rise in crime, but I can assure you they also had a big rise in crime. So I just want to ask you for next month, end of the 30th of March, we are privileged to have CEO of Fidelity, Mr. Val Bartman, to visit us, and he will come and talk to us. So please come with your questions and come with everything that you know that you want to know. If you're not sure if you should join ADT because you had a problem with them previously at another place, come and come listen and let's talk to him and let's see what he can help us. We will have a meeting with him as well. He will check our control room And I'm sure we will solve a lot of our problems that we learned tonight on this. So, is there any questions, anything else? Yeah.
Your March meeting, is it earlier than 7?
Yes, please. That is very important. So because of Val Bartman coming, it will be at 18:30, half past 6. We will start then because he must go back to Roodepoort still that evening. So please, but we will advertise it again, we will remind you again, and we will really hope that you will make time to come and see him that evening. Anything else? Lucas? Reg daar so met security slang, anything from your side?
Donasies, vertel nou maar net so.
Donasies.
Donasies, belastingvoordeel.
Oh yes, there's a, we are registered as a Section 18A company as well. So if you make a donation to Garscom, and that is not the 120 rand of your membership, but an additional 120, but also for complexes, it's 50 rand a month. Then if you make a donation, you can get Article 18A certificate for your tax reduction. Goed, anything else? Is there any questions on? Baie dankie, and I want to thank Caitlin. She helped us. She really solves every problem that we had tonight. So thank you very much, Caitlin. And so, mooi week. Have a wonderful month, and see you next time. Baie dankie. Dankie almal. Thank you, Phoebe, for your contribution.